we're doing like another video essay. This is a very short one though, because I'm just annoyed at what I've seen. Because as you've seen in the thumbnail and the title, iCarly got cancelled. If any of you guys are viewers of my channel, you would know I'm a big fan of shows like iCarly, Victorious, Drake and Josh, Wizards of Waverly Place, you name it, any childhood show that we grew up with, I really enjoyed and I continue to talk about on this channel. I even did a video on the iCarly reboot like a year or two ago. You can probably check it out, it's up here, but it's old, I don't know if I recommend it. Seeing this cancellation was extremely tragic and I feel like a lot of you probably feel the same way too. So I'm not alone in this, I know for a fact. Anyone who follows me on Instagram would see how often I would post that I was watching iCarly the reboot and how often I would post about my thoughts and feelings on the show and how much I loved it and enjoyed watching it. And it was my comfort show, so it's really sad to see it's gone. I mean, look, the poster's even up there, right there. That's the iCarly poster. In my opinion, it's even more devastating because as we approached the end of season 2 and we got into the beginning of season 3 for this iCarly reboot, you could really see this show had really found like its footing and where it wanted to launch itself into for like a 4th season. It had a great rhythm going. I, as well as probably all of you, were so excited for season 4. I knew there was so much potential for it to have. And I was really excited to see what they were going to do with it, what new themes and plot lines they were going to explore for this upcoming season. And as far as I'm aware, everyone who watched it loved it. In my personal opinion, and I know it's not a controversial or an uncommon opinion, but I think it was the best reboot of any of our childhood shows. It was done really well. It was the only reboot where it felt like they actually grew the characters along with their audience. The themes, the characters, the topics discussed had all grown up with us, the OG audience. They were acknowledging that their audience had also grown up and were now adults who were adventuring this new side of their life. They weren't trying to cater to a younger audience. Like, yes, younger audiences could watch it, but they weren't the main target audience for this show. It was the OG viewers who had grown up from 2010, 2009 to now, who were in their 20s or 30s, who would want to be the ones watching this, and they knew that and they catered for us perfectly. Back to the show having so much potential though, because it truly did. And this is what annoys me most of all. Not with just iCarly being cancelled, but with all of these shows getting cancelled these days, because we're truly in the era of TV shows being cancelled, like left, right and centre. They're cancelling shows these days before they can find their own proper footing. Or audience, for the matter of fact, because they're doing this thing now where they're basically creating trust issues with their audiences, because audiences no longer want to commit to TV shows because they don't want it to get cancelled. They don't know if it's going to get cancelled. So a lot of people are like, well, why would I bother even watching this show if it's just going to get cancelled a year down the road without a complete ending? Some people won't watch shows now unless they have a couple seasons out. So they're missing out on this whole audience that would draft over to this show naturally from seeing, oh, it's gone this long, it's probably going to keep going, I'll watch now. But they're not allowing that to happen. They're not giving these shows time for that to happen. But because of this, these studios are too stupid, and these big companies are too stupid to realise what's happening. Instead, they believe no one is watching because no one cares and that the TV show is a flop, when that's not the matter at all. You guys are the flop. It's the only flop I see. I'm so fed up, because if they just gave these TV shows more time, it would find a natural audience. Because of this whole new era of television, people wouldn't be so afraid to watch the show if they saw it had gone on for a little bit longer. I'm just so fed up of the people in charge. They have no idea what they're doing. I believe that so fully. They are so stupid. Yes, I'm calling you stupid, you bigwigs. As well as that, because of these bigwigs cancelling shows so prematurely, again, audiences are having trust issues, and no one wants to commit to shows, and it's creating problems for everyone. And it's creating problems as well where these shows are never getting really satisfactory endings anymore. They're just ending abruptly. I want proper endings back. I don't think that's much to ask for. I really don't. Not with television, give me a proper ending. It's so rare now as well that a TV show will get more than 3 seasons. And it's so sad to see as a viewer, because I want those 7 seasons, I want 6 seasons, even 4, give me 4, I'll be happy. And again, why would I bother watching anything these days if it's just going to get taken away before it hits season 4? If I'm like, oh, season 3's here, well, the Grim Reaper's coming. Why would I put my time into a show that's just going to get cancelled? And the thing is, with iCarly, I was so sure it was going to get a season 4, as well as so many other people on social media and viewers of iCarly, especially because of the cliffhanger they left us on. Spoilers ahead, just in case you haven't seen the end of season 3 of iCarly, which is clearly now just the finale of iCarly and the end of iCarly. I mean, is it even a spoiler anymore because they're not getting a season 4? I don't know, but if you don't want to hear any spoilers for iCarly, click off now. The spoiler, here we go. The ending. Carly's mother! Carly and Spencer's mum. And they finally announced that there's a mum. All this time I thought the mum was dead. I thought she was gone. I thought she was eliminated. And they're like, Mum? And they said, you're not going to see her still. I just don't think they should get away with this. How dare they leave us on this cliffhanger? There's no answer. We're never going to get an answer. I can't believe they did this, and oh my god, they're so stupid. The ratings would have been so high for season 4 because everyone would tune in to see who the mother was. Even probably people who weren't watching along with the show at this point, they'd probably seen on social media the clips about the mother, and they would have wanted to tune in, even just for a couple episodes, to see who Carly's mum is. They are so dumb. You're so daft. Oh, makes me mad. Also, I just want Paramount Plus to be realistic with me for 2 seconds. Like, come closer. What other shows do you have going for you right now? Do fill me in. I don't see any. iCarly was trending every week when a new episode came out. And because of this cancellation as well, it's still trending. It's still going. Save iCarly and We Want iCarly season 4, I think. Still trending even after like now 5 or 4 days of the cancellation news, or it's been a week. Felt like we've been in the trenches, honestly. But it's absolute shambles, and I fear none of these people know how to run their companies, because Paramount, what are you doing? Then we can get into the whole, like, when I was talking about how shows tend to not get more than 4 seasons these days, if they're lucky, mainly 3 really. The tea behind that is at season 4, I believe actors can renegotiate the terms of their contract, meaning they can ask for more money when it comes to season 4 of a show. I know clearly studios aren't a fan of dishing out more money for their actors, even though they're the ones who are bringing all this money into their companies with the shows that are hits. iCarly for Paramount, but whatever. So I think this could be another reason why they cancelled iCarly at season 3, because they didn't want the actors to renew or renegotiate their contracts to get more pay. And that's such a petty reason to cancel a show. I'm so fed up. I mean, here's a little inside thing if you didn't know by now. Anyone remember when Hannah Montana went from Hannah Montana to Hannah Montana Forever? Yeah, that's so they could like rebrand the show as a new season of a different show that wasn't just Hannah Montana, it was now Hannah Montana Forever, which meant she couldn't renegotiate her contract for Hannah Montana. Same with Sweet Life of Zack and Cody, and then it became Sweet Life on Deck. They can't renegotiate those contracts, they just get paid like a base level again. As well as that though, I also wondered if this show got cancelled because of the Writers Guild strikes, or the writers on strike. Wasn't it called WAG strikes? I might be so daft, I'm sorry, it's been a hot second since the strikes happened. I'm so glad they got what they wanted though, or at least a better deal. But I think this might also be a reason why the show got cancelled, because the show finished just as it was going on strike, I believe. Just as the writers were going on strike, and also the cast were seen on strike, like all of them. If they got cancelled for that reason, I think we need to cancel Paramount Plus as a whole. As a society, let's go. Because just get rid of all of it at this point if you're going to cancel the show over the strikes. Thank you. But I'm more leaning towards the point that iCarly got cancelled because it was up to season 4, and again, they just don't want to renegotiate contracts and pay people more. But that's where I stand on it. In my eyes, that's more the case for the reason the show got cancelled. Although they've still not told us an explicit reason why it got cancelled, and I'm so fed up. Like, tell me why, don't be shy. You were bold enough to cancel it, back it up. Another thing as well that sucks about this cancellation is we only just got creddy. SETI fans, leave the chat. This video is not for you. This is not your time and place. Carly and Freddie finally got together, and it happened so naturally. It was so nice. I loved seeing them together on screen. They had chemistry. They were so adorable. And now they've taken that away from us. I'm fed up. It's so sad now that their story almost feels rushed and incomplete, and like it was left as well on a cliffhanger. They were talking about marriage. They were talking about marrying each other, and you left me Like, yes, in my mind now they will forever be together and there's no bad blood with them, which is a nice way to leave their relationship off, but I wanted more, and I want more of their silliness. They were so cute and so stupid, and I loved it. I also don't like how some spokesperson for Paramount was saying, like, the reboot of iCarly's sole purpose was to show credit and give fans credit. Like, the whole purpose of a reboot of iCarly was credit. Don't make that the reason you're saying you cancelled the show, and don't try to save face for cancelling the show by, like, saying, oh, but we delivered on what the fans wanted. Don't lie, that was not the purpose of the reboot. Us fans know it. The sole purpose of the reboot was so fans could see all of these characters that they grew up with in the world of iCarly that we all grew to love as kids in a more mature setting as adults who'd grown up with us. We wanted to see them on more adventures and more scenarios, and the show delivered on that. But there was so much more potential. I even love how the show had cameos from smaller characters in the original series, like Luba, Guppy, Chuck, Griffin, the Pee-wee baby man, Neville, the iconic villain. We were being fed. The fact as well this show did so well without Sam in it, who was such a beloved character from the original series, and she was one of the most loved characters. It speaks volumes that the reboot did so well without her. That is also credit though to Lacey, the actress who played Harper, Carly's new best friend, because she did it so well. She brought such a warmth and fun and exciting energy to the show with her character Harper, and I'm gonna miss her. I loved her so much, and she was just getting so... I just loved her, okay? And they've ripped her away from me, and it's just rude. Millicent was also a really nice addition to the show, for anyone who doesn't know. She played Freddie's daughter. I think it was his stepdaughter, but still daughter. It was really cute. I really loved Millicent, and she was really growing on me as the seasons went on, and she was growing up, and it was nice to see her grow up, and they ripped that from me as well. All in all, I'm still very confused about this cancellation. It feels foggy, and like, I can't see clearly, because in my eyes, this show seemed to be received really well by fans. And just by audiences in general, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was my impression. Not only that, but I'm pretty sure iCarly's ratings on Paramount Plus were high, and that the numbers and like the viewers they were pulling in were pretty good for Paramount Plus's standards. I would say better than most of their shows they have on that streaming platform, because I didn't watch anything else. I just watched iCarly. I mean, come on, they used iCarly, and I think they still use iCarly as like one of the shows they promote for when you sign up on the website, when you sign up for their streaming service, like iCarly comes up. They literally promoted it as one of their hit shows because it was. The audacity they have. The only hope we have is that maybe another network might pick up iCarly, but then again, in my eyes, all of the networks are just as bad as each other, and I have no hope in them. I don't trust any of these networks with TV shows anymore because they always end up cancelling them before they can really spread their wings and fly. But if one of them did want to adopt iCarly, I wouldn't be daft enough to say no. Like, I'd accept it. I would like to get a proper ending for this reboot because the original series had such a good ending. It had such a solid, perfect ending for that show, and it was wrapped up so neatly, so nicely, and the reboot deserves that too. The reboot just does not deserve to be left on a cliffhanger this big, on this scale. Like, it's such a huge cliffhanger that they've left it on, and I can't believe they did this. I was so certain that because of this cliffhanger, it meant we were guaranteed a season 4 because it was such a strong cliffhanger. Clearly I was wrong. You can't predict anything these days. It's annoying me. Like, the one show that was brave enough to put a cliffhanger at the end of their series, or the season, for the longest time, because I've seen so many shows now that won't put cliffhangers at the end of their shows because they don't know if they're going to get cancelled, and then this kind of proved them right. So many shows now are afraid to end their season in a cliffhanger in case it won't come back, and iCarly did just that, and now they've been cancelled, and I see why shows always want to wrap up everything at the end of seasons now because they're afraid they're not going to come back. And so true, bestie. But I don't know, I'm just upset about this cancellation because iCarly was one of my favourite shows as a child, and then this reboot was one of my favourite reboots I've ever seen, and it is my favourite reboot that I've ever seen. It was one of my favourite sitcoms I've watched in ages, and I'm so sad it's gone. There was such a familiarity and nostalgia to it. They were setting it up to have so many plot lines in season 4, and now we will never see them. If I want to blame someone, as well as Paramount Plus, I'm just going to blame Zoe 102 because that was such an unnecessary reboot, and it feels fun just to blame that one because I know it was such trash. Like, I don't actually believe that's the reason for iCarly's cancellation, but let's just throw more fire at that reboot because that's not one that deserved to see the light of day. maybe, just maybe, iCarly will get a reboot, like a movie reboot to wrap everything up, because I think Henry Danger and the Thundermans are getting a movie to reboot those. Not sure if they have the same impact that iCarly did, but they're getting movies, so I don't see why iCarly couldn't get a movie to wrap everything up at this point. But then I wouldn't even blame the actors if they don't want to come back to it, because they had the chance almost to renegotiate their contracts, and now they're just going to be paid like a standard that the company wants to pay them because they're too lazy to pay actors more, even though they're like the faces of their brands and bringing in so much money. Anyway, who knows? Even if we do get a movie, yes, I'll be happy, but I would have preferred to get a season 4 of iCarly, which is what they truly deserved. There's just so much lost potential there. It sucks in this era of TV to get attached to any TV show, because you just don't know when it's going to get cancelled. I was so certain iCarly wasn't getting cancelled, but here we are. It's also obviously as well sucks for the writers and actors, that's just a given. But yeah, that's this little ramble done. Let me know what you guys think of this cancellation. Were you as blindsided by it too? Were you fans of the show? Did you like the reboot? Did you not? Let me know, and we'll talk in another video. We'll talk in the comments. And yeah, have a nice rest of your day. Bye.